Evening, everyone. So before I hand over to Vivek ji today, just some housekeeping announcements. This session is being recorded. So the recording will be available through GMBF channels. In case you have your name on the screen, which is showing as your mobile model number or a different name, you can rename yourself. So go onto your screen and where you see the 3 blue dots, just click on that and you can rename yourself for this session's purpose. That's not going to change your Zoom name, but so that we understand, because some people I see that their mobile name is showing, then it's very difficult to identify you. So may I request all of you to please rename yourself. I'm going to invite Gulf Maharashtra Business Forum's General Secretary, Mr. Vivek Kollatkar.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Once again, great pleasure welcoming you all to this one more informative session from GMBF Global. As many of you have attended these sessions, and our efforts generally are to try to capture a networking opportunity, try to capture some kind of new initiatives which are started. And of course, like every challenge throws a new opportunity. So during this last about month or so, I have had even the speakers from India as well who participated actively. And we had a session on HR, we had a session on strategy. MBF, as per our main activity, is to be an enabler. And true to that, today we have invited one of the very renowned Mr. Rishi Agarwal. And again, a topic also very interesting, as all of us keep reading about so many things being done, so many initiatives started, but during flood of this information, it's quite possible that we might miss out on something. So Mr. Rishi is going to give us a compilation of all the economic relief measures by enablers like banks, enablers like government agencies, or free zones. So, this is going to be another interesting session. So welcome everybody, and we have a lot of new names that I have seen just now. So I think Dr. Sunil, our president, who is going to say a few words.
Yeah. Good evening, each member of GMBF, and those who are not also member, you are welcome in GMBF. GMBF, the Gulf Maharashtra Business Forum, last 15 years operating in UAE, with the focus of encouraging the business activities and connecting the different business together in professional as well as business network. We are generally focusing on networking only and how you can enhance your business. And for that, me and my team are consistently working since last 15 years to make this goal achieved by each one of us in our business. We need your support in this endeavor for achieving the business success for each one of us in this current crisis. Our group chairman, Mr. Jack Ma, has said, and this WhatsApp has gone to each one of us, you must have read it. He said, for people in business, in 2020 is really just a year for staying alive. So don't even talk about your big dream, big plans, your leisure plan. Just make sure you stay alive. So if you can stay alive, then you would have made a profit already. That is what Jack Ma is talking about. And this is true in current scenario. So in this current crisis, what I feel, we all should focus on how we can able to sustain and how we can able to meet our basic requirement and how we can survive in this current scenario. And our GMBF main objective for conducting these seminars and conferences and networking is to enhance the business activity and support each other. So on behalf of GMBF, I welcome you all. I welcome Mr. Rishi Agarwal, who has accepted our invitation, and I will not take your more time, and you can enjoy the session. I am sure you will get benefit from this session. So Welcome you all once again and thank you very much.
I request Rahul Gokhale to now take over and introduce the speaker, please.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem.
I think last 2 months or so was one of the darkest period in human history. But now we could see the light towards dark tunnel. I think now gradually businesses are getting back into action. General feeling is that post-Eid things would be start running in like new normal. And to help kickstart of economy, like many governments, UAE government has also offered various economic reliefs. And since we expect that businesses are now starting and post it would be almost back to normal capacity, it is the right time to get information about these various economic reliefs offered by various authorities in UAE, and let's take benefit of those economic relief measures. We would have read bits of pieces in social media or newspaper, but I understand from Mr. Rishi Agarwal, today's session will be very informative because at one place we are going to hear about economic reliefs offered by central bank, banks, various free zones in UAE, as well as Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, and Dubai government. Mr. Rishi Agarwal is a chartered accountant working more than 17 plus years. He started his career in Deloitte, Mumbai. Then he worked with Dubai office of Ernst & Young for about 13, 14 years. He had a stint in chemical manufacturing company called Nalco. And now he is a partner in Premier Brains accounting and auditing firm. So now without taking much of your time,
thank you for the wonderful
over to Mr. Rishi
introduction.
Agarwal.
And I'm delighted to hear from Dr. Sunil about staying alive. That's quite encouraging in these times. To sustain is to stay. And from Mr. Rahul about light at the end of tunnel. I think these are the words which we need now to continue our business. And Mr. Vivek has talked wonderfully about the overall economic scenario. I'll start my session with the economic relief measures given by the Central Bank of UAE and what does it mean for us. We are mostly looking at what's in there for us rather than what's the overall package. Okay. The central bank had earlier announced a stimulus package of 100 billion, which was later on doubled to 256 billion. And it allowed banks and finance companies in the country to extend deferrals of principal and interest payment to their customers until 31st of December 2020. Okay. The expected impact is to inject the liquidity in the market and additional cash flows so that the economy is up and running. Now, the regulator also reduced the cash reserve ratio from 14 to 7%. This resulted in additional 61 billion liquidity for the banking sector. There are a lot of deferral of banks, finance companies to repay the loans and interest. So this will result in almost 95 billion of additional funds in the market. There are additional zero cost fundings and which results in almost 50 billion of additional funds in the market. The zero cost funding is not only for the national, it is also for the expatriates and it covers all categories of customers. If you approach the bank, there are chances of getting the payment holidays and these are applicable to all. The merchant service fees has been reduced by almost 50% and the late payment fees on the loan payment has also been reduced by 50%. There are installment plans with no service fees for payment of utility bills and the school fees. And there are transfer of credit card balances to another bank. There are personal loans, auto loans, mortgage there are one month repayment holidays without any fees. The LTV on new home loans has been increased from 75 to 80%, and this is in collaboration with RERA that the LTV has been increased from 75 to 80% for new home loans for first-time loan seekers. There are waiver of overstay fines. So all residency visas will be extended in the UAE, and all administrative fines will be waived for anyone who overstays their visit visa. This means there is automatic renewal of visas until end of December 2020. So the UAE residency visa and Emirates ID of expatriates, whether they are inside or outside the country, are valid until the end of December if they happen to expire before 1st of March 2020. Government has also introduced the virtual labor market, which is a relatively a new concept in UAE. The Ministry of Human Resource and Emiratization has introduced this concept to enable the job seekers inside and outside the UAE to search for a job in the UAE. This platform is to enable the job seekers to register their CVs and companies to announce vacancies. This is much like an employment exchange. It helps both recruiters and the job seekers to find what they are looking for. The government has issued guidance for employers and employees as to how a remote working guidance is to be implemented in practice. For the paid leaves, the employers may specify the dates on which the employees are to utilize their annual leave without the need for employee consent. This was not there before, and a lot of companies has already availed this one. The next is on the unpaid leaves. The resolution allows onshore employers to mutually agree a period of unpaid leaves with the employees. This is a welcome introduction for employers, as unpaid leave is not expressively recognized under the labor law. And implementing it previously, it carried a lot of uncertainty. So now the government has given this liberty to the employers to sustain the business. Another one is the temporary reduction of salaries. The resolution states that the employers may reduce salaries temporarily with employees' consent. This is the relief measures by Ministry of Economy. The Ministry of Economy has reduced fees for 94 of its services, and this ranges up to 98% reduction in fees. The 98% reduction in fees is for the activity for made in UAE trademark. There are other services also which has the fees for them has been reduced, and this includes commercial registration services, commercial agencies, trademarks, certificate of origin, intellectual properties. Up to 30% discount is also given on opening up foreign company branch offices, and 50% reduction in fees for issuing certificates of origin for national products. The all the relief of these measures is expected to be around 113 million in 2020. Dubai government has announced a stimulus package of almost 1.5 billion to support the business, especially in the sector of tourism, retail, external trade, and logistics services. These are considered to be the most highly impacted, but the package is not restricted only to these sectors. This extends to all the sectors in UAE. So the impact of this package is that there is a reduced cost burden and deferrals of cost. This package is applicable for 3 months. 5% market fees is suspended now, and normally it is part of the trade license renewal fees. So we don't have to apply for this one, and normally it should appear during the renewal. If it is not appearing, then we have to check it. The DED fees can be paid by installment, and this is again on case-to-case basis, because most of these measures we have to speak if those are already not appearing on the portal. The trade license can be renewed without compulsion to have lease. I think this is a very big move. DEWA bills has been reduced by 10%, but for this reduction, we have to get in touch with DEWA. And also the reduction of DEWA deposit, the DEWA deposit has been reduced. In customs, the 50,000 bank guarantee will be cancelled for customs clearance. and it can be refunded. The custom fees, there's a refund of 20% on imported goods sold in Dubai market. So it means that the fees has reduced from 5% to 4% now. And there's a 90% reduction on document submission fees for customs. And also the clearing agent fees in the customs has been reduced, and certain loading and unloading at Dubai port, Hamria port charges are reduced. Okay, now we will we will go through the Dubai Free Zone Council measures. Dubai Free Zone Council, it is the body tasked with the development of free zones in Emirates. Just for your information, Dubai Free Zone Council has come up with this package along with Dubai Silicon Oasis Authority, Dubai Airport Free Zone, Jebel Ali Free Zone, Dubai World Trade Center, DIFC, Dubai Development Authority, Dubai South, Medan City, the DMCC and TCOM. These are the free zones which are implementing this package. Now this package has been introduced in 5 key elements, and I've just mentioned here those 5 components. We'll go through it one by one. The first is it allows companies to postpone the rent payments for up to 6 months. I have like one of my clients in DMCC, they applied for the renewal of the trade license and they got a waiver for the lease expenses for 3 months. So again, this is the second feature of this package is that it facilitates installments. The package offers flexible fee payments, including building license and services, in addition to refunding the security deposits and guarantees to help cash flow of the tenants. Third is it allows refund of security deposits and guarantees and cancellation of fines for both companies and individuals. The next is the authority has permitted the temporary contracts with and allowed free movement of labor between companies operating in the free zones for the rest of the year. This move will benefit workers seeking better job opportunities and those who have been asked to take unpaid leaves to find alternative employment in Dubai. And last but not the least, new businesses can postpone their lease periods and have their registration fees cancelled for 6 months. They will also be exempt from fines on expired license and other financial and administrative fees. So we'll go through one by one with the free zones, what each individual free zone has implemented the package. We'll start with the DMCC, which is one of the largest free zones here. And the measures applicable to DMCC existing 17,000 members companies, and it includes 100% waiver for late license renewal penalties, 100% waiver for all FlexiDesk and DMCC Business Center penalties up till the end of 2020. It also includes 100% waiver of office sharing permit fees and company reinstatement fees. Apart from that, there is 30% discount on license renewal. See, these discounts has to be interacted with the free zones to avail these discounts. It's quite possible that they don't appear on the portal. Then there are incentives for new registration and companies already in the process of registering in DMCC. And DIFC has recently announced new reforms even in the last week, and those are employee friendly. I'll start with first the reforms which are introduced. There is a deferred payment on all leases in DIFC. There's full waiver from annual licensing fees for new entities. Further, there is a 10% discount on renewal of license applicable on the existing entities. And there is reduction on fees for property registration for 5% to 4% only for 3 months. This is for limited time. There are few reliefs given by Dubai Land Department and RERA. First is that there are no rent evictions. The rent evictions are suspended for March and April. So it might extend to future. That's not clear at the moment. All the fines for 2019 and 20 has been cancelled by RERA. There are flexible options for paying service charges. The service charges and the AC charges fees has been reduced and slashed. RERA is also providing life supplies free of charge to those in need. That's on the social side, which RERA is doing. We are done with the Dubai government, and now we'll move to the Abu Dhabi government mayors. Abu Dhabi government has introduced a 16-point stimulus package, which is very much similar to introduced by Dubai, but we'll just discuss the salient features of this package. The real estate registration fees for 2020 has been suspended. The industrial land leasing fees has been reduced by 25% on new contracts. The commercial and industrial penalties has been waived off. Commercial vehicles has been waived from the annual registration fees for up till end of 2020. All vehicles, SALIC has been exempted till December. The tourism and municipality fees has been suspended for the entire year. It's introduced by Sharjah government, but I'll just discuss the key features. There's a 3-month exemption for license renewals between January to December. The current commercial and industrial penalties has been waived off. The tenants from the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry, they are waived off for 3 months. The tenants from rent in the Expo Center are waived for 3 months. Both the rent exemptions are there for 3 months. The private sector from fees of renewing the municipal related permits has been waived off for 3 months. The hotel establishment fees of 5% has been waived off for 3 months. All rental property eviction cases has been suspended. This is similar to RERA. Reducing the fees due on port operations by 20% on handling, shipping, unloading and related fees and marine fees. All shipping and custom clearance companies from the bank guarantee required to conduct their activities has been exempted. The companies operating in free zones has been exempt for fines for delayed renewal of licenses. There are initiatives to section. So the purpose of BEPS is to ensure that the profits are not moved from the higher tax jurisdiction to lower tax jurisdiction by eroding the tax base of the higher tax jurisdictions. And according to the study of OECD in 2015, BEPS result in a loss of revenue for governments conservatively estimated between 4% and 10% of the global corporate income tax. If this income and profit shifts to another tax havens where the tax is less as compared to the higher tax jurisdiction, then obviously the higher tax jurisdiction countries are losing their revenue. So who is subject to ESR in UAE? It's quite interesting. And the law applies to all natural or jurisdiction persons in UAE having a relevant activity in UAE. And this ESR laws covers 9 relevant activities, and it has the substance over form approach. So it doesn't go by the trade license or by the activity done, but it looks at the actual activity which the company is involved. The 9 relevant activities which are defined by the ESR law is banking business, insurance business, investment fund management business, lease finance, headquarter business, shipping business, holding company business, intellectual property business, and distribution and service center businesses. The definition of these activities as given in the ESR law is as follows. And this is called the core income generating activities, also called as CIGA in the law. So the last is the adequacy test, which says that there should be adequate number of qualified full-time employees held in UAE, and there should be an adequate amount of operating expenditure to earn the core income generating activity, and there should be physical assets in UAE. That's it from my side, and any questions are most welcome.
Thank you, Rishi. Thanks for such a informative session. Now we will take some of the questions. Since ESR is new, just want to confirm for understanding everyone, like irrespective of size of my company, if I'm not existent, I have to notify to relevant authorities. Am I right?
Yes. See, you have to perform the economic substance test, and you have to notify it to the relevant authority. Now, it depends on which free zone are you registered. There are now the free zones have come up with different forms for notification. So you have to complete those forms, but basically they are asking to perform the economic substance test.
Okay. So size doesn't matter. Even if I'm a small company with 100,000 turnover, I do have to do it.
Size doesn't matter in this case.
Okay. Now taking some of the questions, Mr. Rahul Kulkarni asked a question. A company with 3 years track record, will it be able to apply for some relief packages if they do not have formally approved credit limits?
The relief packages are not dependent on the track history of the company or on the credit limit. These are dependent, basically, these are blanket packages, but these are still, you have to speak with the bank, and the bank will consider on a case-to-case basis.
I have two questions. Question number one is, you mentioned allowed zero cost funding up to 31st December 2020, which is like AED 50 billion.
Yes.
I would like to know what is that. And you have mentioned that Dubai free zones, different type of free zones, they have extended different relief measures. What about the other free zone, like Hamaria free zone, Fujairah free zone, Al Queen free zone? Is there any guideline by them as well? Thank you.
Funding is by the central bank to the bank and not to the company. So basically that zero cost funding is between the banks, from the UAE central bank to the individual banks. So that has,
we are not benefited out of that.
Sorry, that has increased the liquidity in the market. So that if the bank's cost of borrowing goes down, obviously our cost of borrowing also will go down. So this is an push to the banking system.
But bank has extended only 0.25% reduction in the interest to the market, not more than that.
Every bank has to make money. If you see the first Q1 results, I was reading it yesterday. Most banks have published their Q1 results, and you can see the banks are still in profit. And these zones, other free zones like Fujairah free zone, Fujairah, Ajman, they have all come up with their another set of rules and exemptions, which we have not covered here. So we have limited our scope to the free zones of Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Sharjah. Okay. Other free zones have also come up with the rules. If you want, I can just quickly read out some of the rules of other free zones. Like in Fujairah, the license fees has been exempted for some activities from January 2020 to December 2020. These activities includes cinemas, health club, meet, mainly hospitality and resort are exempt. In Ajman, the Crown Prince has postponed all the fines till the end of the year. So there's a possibility of paying, there are possibilities of paying customs with easy payment within 90 days. Just to answer your question, each free zone has covered there, and but just for the limited time, we have restricted ourselves. So if you have any question on Hamria free zone, please email to me. I'll get back to you with those answers.
Thank you.
In the interest of time, I'll go to next question. I think Prasad, you have some particular question about IP. Can you elaborate the question?
I think sure. I think if you can quickly tell us what are the IP businesses. Give us examples, one or two. That's it.
See, the intellectual property right business is that when you are only having the rights are registered in UAE, and you are not performing any activity in UAE, but you are recording the income here. So basically, you are moving all the profits of other entities to this country just to avoid the income tax. So actually, you are not doing any work like you don't have a human resource here who is working to support the IPR to doing the marketing, branding, or research and development. Nothing is done here, but just you record the IPR in a company in UAE, you transfer all the profits from other countries to here, so that your income tax is saved in other countries. That is called the IPR activity.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. Fahim Kazmi, can you please ask your question?
Yeah, hi. I just would like to know, you had mentioned that there is there's no renewal for trade licenses. I mean, sorry, there's renewal for trade license without a lease office by DED. So can you please explain about that? Without a proper, like a office, can we renew our trade license?
Yes, you can renew your trade license. And just to begin with, I'll give you a background. This relief is available only in Dubai and not in Abu Dhabi. And the Dubai DED is trying that only Dubai mainland entities can renew the trade license without having a lease in place.
In the interest of time, we will take last two questions. Preeti Rege wanted to ask something.
Yeah, so I would like to know, are we getting any facilities on late payments of VAT? And the second question is, we have already requested KMCC for license renewal fees to give reduction. They are not responding at all. How do we move forward?
Okay. For the DMC, I think we get in touch with them, because I've seen for a few of my clients also that they got a waiver of lease and the license fees also. And if you want, I can introduce you to someone in DMCC. Please get in touch offline with me. And
And what about VAT? Because the cash flow is an issue now. Clients want to take more credit period, but we have to pay the VAT on time. So do we get any facility to pay late?
There's only 1 month extension which is given by the government from 28th April to 28th for the period ended 31st of March. And regarding the collections, unfortunately, no, you have to still pay it.
Say pay on time, huh, VAT?
1 month extension is already given by the government, so not beyond that.
Okay.
I think we'll have a last question is from Sandeep. So Sandeep Kharwandikar, will you please ask your question?
Yeah, I was just asking on the credit facilities being provided by the bank, because we haven't seen any major reductions from the bank on the interest rates as on yet for the SMEs.
The bank has come up with their own measures, and just to let you know, there is no reduction. There is only postponement of payments. So these are like interest-free holidays given by the bank. So there are no reduction of interest. So these funds, which are an injection of liquidity in the system, is going to help the capital of the bank so that they can meet their commitments and maintain their P&L, at the same time accommodate us.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, this is a final question.
Yeah, my question is that as far as Etisalat and Du are concerned, they have been charging consistently Wi-Fi cost of minimum 995 dirhams along with the landline fee reduction or anything announced so far by both the organizations. So do you have anything known to you which we are not aware of?
Sir, unfortunately, I don't have any information on this one, and I have not even read in the newspaper also. I am sure there is nothing, no stimulus given by Etisalat and Du.
I think Mr. Mahesh, he deals with both of them.
Hi, everybody. I just want to basically talk about Etisalat. I know that about the internet connectivity. What happens is most of the companies using internet, because of that, their servers are running, their internal IT infrastructure is running, and based on that, most of the people have worked from home. So when you're working from home as a company, your servers are running in the office and everybody from the office are connected through WAN. And that is the reason internet is being utilized, barring some few companies who maybe solopreneurs or maybe a small company doesn't have a network. For them, this could be an issue.
So may I ask Raut Saib to summarize?
Thank you, Rahul. On behalf of Executive Committee of GMBF and our President, Dr. Sunil Manjrekar, I would like to thank Mr. Rishi Agarwal for his insight of today's stimulus measures, which has been given by various authorities. Mr. Rishi Agarwal, thank you very much. And I would also like to thank participants, and they are very enthusiastic about asking various questions. In fact, very valid points you have touched upon. The various stimulus announced by UAE Central Bank for individual as well as for retail loans and personal loans. You spoke about LTV, loan to value, increased 5%. Secondly, you talked about employment and immigration measures provided by governments in terms of virtual labor market, waiver of overstay, unpaid leaves, automated renewal of visas. Then Ministry of Economy measures, reduction of fees up to 98%, 30% discount. Dubai government measures in terms of 1.5 billion package, 2.5% market fees suspension, trade license renewal without office lease, custom clearance, bank guarantees, etc. Dubai Free Zone Council, which covers all free zones, they have given rent postponement, payment by installments, refund of deposits and guarantees. Dubai Land Department and RERA, cancellation of fines. You also touched upon Sharjah government, Abu Dhabi government providing 16-point stimulus for both nationals as well as residents. Sharjah government providing 47 points stimulus package, and there were number of questions which have come, and probably all of them could not be accommodated, but you have answered all of them very well. More importantly, the taxes related measures, about 20% reduction in custom duty, ESR laws, OECD's, BEPS, profits has to be maintained in the country, not to be moved. SIGA, core income generating activities, adequacy tests, and such kind of measures are really, really worth listening to. And these are the takeaway points for all of us. And in the difficult time, rather the testing times, the new normals are coming, and it's a welcome change in a difficult situation. Once again, Mr. Rishi Agarwal, thank you very much on behalf of GMBF. It's a great event conducted by Rahul. Thank you very much for such a wonderful session conducted diligently. Chirantan and Prasad, thank you very much for your active support for a success of this event. Participants, 70 numbers, thank you very much for your participation. Over to Rahul.
Thanks everyone, and see you during our next session, which we will communicate to you in due course. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, GMBF.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to the managing committee of GMBF. Thank you.
Fantastic workshop. Thank you.
Manjrekar Sahib, thank you.
Thank you.